Okay, so I want you guys to make a thought experiment. Let's assume that you are the head of an anime studio. So your interest is to make a good product, to make your dream anime, but you also want to make money off of it. You want to make money off of it in order to pay your staff, to attract better employees, and more importantly, to have money to make a new project. Now you have two choices. You can make your anime to only sell in Japan, and then you don't have to censor whatsoever. And if you do that, you'll notice that the number of sales isn't really as good as the other studios. However, you will also notice that your anime gets pirated like crazy in the West. So overseas, people are making fan subs, fan dubs. There's probably like millions of, and you're not making any money off of that. So you're thinking like, okay, well, I want to do business with the Americans. I want to sell my anime. And when you do that, what if you only can go through Crunchyroll in order to do it? Like, you don't have many other options because, as you can see, more and more companies are being swallowed by Crunchyroll. So eventually, oh, you want your anime to be live streamed in the West? Okay, well, you have to go through Crunchyroll. Now, Crunchyroll can flat out just tell you, yeah, sure, we're going to do that, but make sure that your anime isn't problematic because we got like some terms of service here, and we need to make sure that none of the terms of service are violated by your anime. So, for example, let's see what animes people had controversy of. Legacy of Shield Hero, right? Like, oh, well, it depicts themes of rape. We don't really like that in the West, so can you please censor that if you want to do business with the Americans? Oh, this one, it doesn't really treat gay characters the way we like. We think that this is problematic. If you don't do it, like, we, Crunchyroll, are not going to do business with you. What was it? Goblin Hero, right? Like another one that's problematic, so on and so forth. Attack on Titan, oh, themes of fascismus. It's possible, right? Like, but basically, what's happening is that you can tell by the localizers, which happen to be right now the type of ideology these American companies have. And I can bet to you that if it happens to be a monopoly, it's going to be a lot easier to control by the activists, by the advertisers, who are already fucking livid that anime is competing with Disney, it's competing with Netflix, it's competing with all of these things, and they don't really have a say in it because, again, they're made in Japan, so they're not made in the West, they can't do shit. However, if they manage to actually monopolize Crunchyroll, and it will be like one of the only or one of the two companies that are going to distribute anime to the West, well, all of a sudden it's a lot easier to control. I mean, so like, for example, if Crunchyroll has advertisements on the website, I didn't check, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. They can have like the advertisers saying, okay, well, we want you to have these TOS and we want you to not have these animes because they're problematic. A little bit unlikely, but usually what happens is like from the inside, right? Like, especially if they want to take an ESG load, or if you have like ideologues on the inside of the company, then yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they will be able to afford to tell anime studios, it's like, okay, well, if you want to do business with us, then you gotta play ball. And by the way, like, if you think this is weird, if you think that what I'm saying is bizarre, and this is already happening in the United States, like, think about it. Every single TV show, every single comic book, and I would even say that most video games too fall in this category, they all have like gay characters in them. Like, it's very difficult to name a TV show which came in the last 5 years that doesn't have gay characters in them. However, what's interesting and very fascinating is that Hollywood movies don't have gay characters in it. Like think about a Hollywood blockbuster film which had gay characters in it. It's very difficult, right? And even if they do, they're not like in the main center, like it's barely mentioned, like maybe like Star Wars had like a gay kiss or something. So why is that? Well, it's because Hollywood wants to sell their movies to China. And China has the CCP, which straightened those characters out. I don't know how they do it. I think they pray the gay way. I don't know. But they fucking do it, right? So, this is why when you pick up a Marvel comic book, there's gay characters in it, but when you watch a Marvel movies, they aren't, right? And would be a similar system with Japan. It would be, okay, well, we want to sell this manga to the Amerikanski. We gotta go through Crunchyroll, so we probably need to fill in some checkboxes. I wouldn't be surprised if 10 years down the line this is going to be the thing. It's going to be very unfortunate, but this is what happens when power is centralized. Like, why does China has the ability to do this? Why can't China just say to the Americans, of all people, you're not going to have LGBT representation on your movies? It's because there is a single entity in China that needs to be pleased, and that is the CCP, right? So when the entire power is concentrated in the hands of a single institution, then if you want to sell in China, you gotta play ball with the CCP. So whatever the CCP says, you gotta do it. If you don't do it, you can't sell your movie there. And if you want to make money, you gotta sell in China. Now, the same situation is happening with Japan. You're going to have Japanese manga creators or anime creators that are going to be told, if you want to make money, you have to sell to the Amerikanskis. You gotta sell to the European Union. You gotta sell to the West. And they'll be like, okay, but what do we need to do? Well, you need to deal with the Crunchyroll. You need to find out what Crunchyroll desires. You need to see if there's a checklist that they require. You need to make sure that you hire their localizers, that you censors on their behalf, that you don't upset them, that you're not problematic, because otherwise you can't sell. Now, for some goddamn reason, most people don't understand, and they legitimately think that, oh, that's okay, I'll just pirate. I'll just pirate. Because, like, at the end of the day, I got, like, my fan subs, and I'm like, listen, you moron. If the Japanese studio will censor in-house in order not to upset Crunchyroll, what the fuck are you going to pirate? Like, this is not a solution for the problem. Like, the problem is that the studios want to make money. And in order to make money, your piracy doesn't help, right? So, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, one of the solutions would be if Japan actually makes their own streaming services to the West. But that runs into other kerfuffles. Like, there's legal problems and it's not so easy. I mean, some of them are trying to do it. Some of them are more successful than others. But if they get outbought by Crunchyroll, you're going to end up with the same situation. Like, you may have, like, one of these things that manages to take off and it's actually good and popular. And all of a sudden, whoop, Crunchyroll buys it. Right? So, or, you know, like, if there aren't that many of them, they may run into things that are problematic and they may get canceled because of other reasons. But still, it is concerning. I do not see a bright future ahead. A lot of people who are buying from the right stuff as well were saying that they had quality products and they were very happy with the merchandise that they were obtaining. And they claimed that Crunchyroll didn't have, like, the same quality. I don't know about this because I haven't bought, like, actual merchandise. But it's possible, right? Because when you're a small company and you don't have that many customers, then you try to keep the ones you have. And by doing this, you need to make sure that you put a good product, that you have good relationships with the customers. But when you're a big company, when you're some massive conglomerate, you don't give a fuck. Like, your brand is going to carry regardless. So it is upsetting that it's happening. But let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you as usual in the comment section. Take care.